Join us on Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, a joyful night of Motor City soul, gospel, and holiday classics featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Bram Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA.
Hey, Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580. An amazing scandal is coming to fruition in Washington, D.C. over the possibility of war crimes conducted by the Trump administration and his little jaunt in the Venezuelan coast with these little boats and these so-called drug dealers that are moving narcotics out of South America into the Caribbean. There's been no evidence that that's the case. At least they've not presented the American people with evidence. But in the very first strike, apparently it is quite possible that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Defense, decided, allegedly, to have ordered a second strike on stranded passengers from that boat. 2 men were then summarily executed by the United States military by another missile strike. This unfortunate tragedy violates international law on a scale that we haven't seen since the creation of international law in the first place. And now today, in today's press conference, President Donald Trump promises not only more strikes, he promises strikes on mainland Venezuela. Our very special guest in this hour will be my good friend, John Lesiotis, who has been a regular contributor to our Let's Talk About It series in season 1 and joins us for the Light It Up series in season 2. Political activist, analyst, and every second Tuesday of the month guest on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show's discussion series. John Lesiotis puts real talk in the middle of the floor about the ways Republicans may view Democrats and the way Democrats may view Republicans and vice versa, in a dialogue filled with messaging and messenger truths. I'm so particularly honored that John Lesiotis is joining us in this particular hour. Michael Eric Dyson is on a flight and en route. Will be joining us likely in the second hour with attorney Dr. Barbara Arnwine on The Grind with Arnwine. So please stay tuned with the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. John, welcome forward to the show.
Thank you, Jesse. Thanks for having me, and it's great to see you again.
I am particularly grateful that you're here today. Hey, John, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
The norms of engagement for war that include constitutionally authorization by the Congress, and certainly even after activity has initially commenced, contacting the various Armed Services Committee within the House of Representatives and the Senate to seek the necessary approvals and permissions to continue that activity. All of that process that they have skirted around the declaration of war in the Constitution appears to be a new norm that the Trump administration is trying to establish with presidential authority. John, your thoughts about this activity that's taking place in Venezuela without congressional authorization?
Well, I think it's been a slippery slope that we've been on for quite some time, Jesse. Frankly, I don't think a lot of historians that I read aren't necessarily surprised where we're at right now. They cite the Iraq War as kind of a pretext to this, with the lies leading up to it, and then some of the dark sites that we had in other countries to interrogate prisoners. And we were really stretching the boundaries of what war is supposed to be and the rules of engagement, frankly. So we've been stretching it for 25 or 30 years, to say the least. And Trump and Hegseth now have decided that we can go to international waters without any type of due process and just summarily execute people that we believe are drug dealers, not even addressing a number of issues. I mean, it's crazy that we're now talking about, was there a second strike? Which there obviously was. The film is there. At first, Hegseth said he ordered it. Now, apparently, he's trying to pass the blame off on Admiral Bailey and say that Bailey's actually the one that did it. And Hegseth walked out of the room after the first strike. But I think we're missing the larger point is why are we even striking down there without any process whatsoever? We're just unilaterally the judge and the jury on this. And there's so many issues at hand that we should be talking about way before this happened. But unfortunately, this finally caught our attention.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More with John Lesiotis. We're talking about Pete Hegseth and Trump's roundabout way of ignoring the Constitution once again. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 remembers Robin Ayers on the 1-year anniversary of her passing. 1 year ago this week, we lost a remarkable and vibrant voice. Robin Ayers touched countless lives through her passion, her love, her service, and her smile, which you could see through the radio. KBLA Talk 1580 honors her memory and celebrates the legacy she left behind. Robin, your spirit lives on in every conversation, in every connection, and in every one of us, inspired by your voice. Gone, but never forgotten. KBLA Talk 1580, where voices matter.
I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns. I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk
The Jesse
1580.
Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. We have a clip that we'd like to play about what's taking place in Venezuela.
And right now, I'm joined by former Defense Secretary and former CIA Director Leon Panetta. It's always good to see you, sir. I want to play, just as a reminder, exactly what Secretary Hegseth himself said about this strike on Fox News the day after it happened.
I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat. We knew exactly what they were doing, and we knew exactly who they represented. And that was Tren de Aragua, a narco-terrorist organization designated by the United States, trying to poison our country with illicit drugs. I can't disclose precisely how this went down. I can tell you it was precision. It was very well understood exactly what assets would be used in order to achieve the effect.
So he watched it live. Help me understand the chain of command. He and Caroline Leavitt have suggested it was Admiral Bradley's decision. Does what he said on Fox the day after at least suggest potentially it could be otherwise?
Well, when you're trying to dodge a bullet, you'll come up with all kinds of versions of what took place. But the reality is that the responsibility for this strike rests with the Secretary of Defense. He's the one who ordered the strike. He's the one who said everybody should be killed on board. And he is the one who is responsible for issuing that order. So this idea that they're now blaming the Admiral or blaming others just doesn't have any credibility, because in that kind of operation, it's the Secretary of Defense that makes the order.
So what are the questions, the key questions you think need to be asked and answered now?
I think the most important questions that have to be asked, and I hope that the Armed Services Committees on both the Senate and the House side will do that, which is to get the specific information with regards to the orders that were issued, to get any tapes regarding the attack, not just the first one, but the second one as well. They have video of that, and they should be able to have access to that. Who conducted the attack? What exactly were the orders? Was this a war crime that was committed, particularly on the second attack? And I believe it was. And if that's true, who should be held?
John, former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta raises some important questions that Congress of the United States, the Senate, and certainly the House is considering.
Yeah.
Did, in fact, war crimes take place
Yep.
in the Venezuelan attacks?
On that second boat strike, there are definitely questions surrounding a war crime, because once the war criminals, if you will, have been, they've lost their weapons, they're in the water, they're no threat to anybody there. So to go back and kill them intentionally is considered a war crime, and that's why you're hearing the uproar.
John, could this and the United States of all countries in the world has, and not only an obligation, but should have a concern for every war fighter, every warrior that they're talking about, who might find themselves the object or even a prisoner of war, and how they might be treated should they ever be captured by a foreign government, a hostile government, or any other organization that might find itself at odds with the United States. Is there any concerns that this really, really does break down a norm and put Americans at risk in other parts of the world?
Without question, especially the way that we've fractured our alliances in Europe, where I think most of the European leaders don't trust us any longer. Hell, not only Europe, but Canada and Mexico, just about everyone we've dealt with, who are our allies, traditionally have a different opinion of us. And I think it's definitely going to hurt us around the world. The only places that wouldn't are places we don't care about, like Russia and North Korea, and Hungary maybe. But for the rest of it, yeah, it definitely puts Americans at risk.
I want to go to the heart of this just before the producer puts on a clip and remind everyone of some of this context. Admiral Alvin Holsey is a Black U.S. Navy admiral who resigned as commander of U.S. Southern Command in December of 2025. Not long ago. Southern Command in December of 2025 amid military strikes against alleged drug boats off of Venezuela. While the official reason for his retirement was not specified in a statement that he shared, sources indicate he had raised concerns about the mission and the attacks. He began his career at the historically black college, Morehouse. What he did, why he chose to resign. Sources indicate that Halsey, an African-American admiral, raised concerns about recent military operations, specifically the attacks on the alleged drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. And here's the context. His departure followed a series of military strikes against suspected drug smugglers near Venezuela. The Trump administration has asserted that these actions are a form of national defense. We're going to play our clip.
Secretary of Defense is announcing a top military commander who is in charge of the U.S. Southern Command is retiring now unexpectedly. Remember, this is the region, of course, where those escalating attacks against boats in the Caribbean, those boats off the coast of Venezuela that the Trump administration has said have narco-terrorists on board. We're just getting in a statement here from the admiral, writing in part, "It's been an honor to serve our nation, the American people, and to support and defend the Constitution for more than 37 years. Secretary Hegseth says Admiral Alvin Halsey will retire at the end of this year. It's not clear why it's happening now, but it's coming, of course, as the president is stepping up that military campaign in the Caribbean, not just on the boat strikes you're seeing here, but as we reported right here last night with those authorization of the CIA operation inside Venezuela.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
I think it's increasingly clear why Admiral Halsey chose to resign.
Absolutely.
He clearly did not want to be hauled before Congress, following orders to, if you will, double tap these drug boats, disable them with the first strike, participate in a war crime or wholesale murder in the second tap on the same little skiff boat. And it was beneath the dignity of the Constitution of the United States. And to avoid all of this, he got out of there. They found someone who would do exactly what Donald Trump did and Pete Hegseth did. Now they find themselves not only in a world of hurt here in the United States, but the condemnation is pouring in from around the world.
And a number of Republican senators are even voicing their displeasure with this.
Your thoughts on what precedents this sets for U.S. soldiers abroad, for our men and women of honor who might find themselves in harm's way?
Well, remember, we have troops in about 75 or 80 countries around the world now. So I think it puts all of our troops at greater risk than ever today. It can't help them at all. But more importantly, Jesse, when people leave the government like that, who are competent, principled people, it leaves a bunch of yes men and lackeys left to carry through whatever Trump has decided he wants to do that day. And that's the real concern for me. I mean, they've already gotten rid of so many different oversight groups that were put in place to stop this type of abuse. And hopefully enough Republican senators will start doing their job and start demanding some accountability from the president, because really, I think that's the last safeguard at this point, if there is one.
You know, I find it particularly interesting that Admiral Halsey, a graduate of Morehouse College, an African-American who has 4 stars on his shoulders, a man of honor, chose specifically to resign amidst the orders that were given to him about attacks on these little boats. We're not even talking about Donald Trump's statement today, just an hour ago, that there will be land attacks too, the president of the United States said. He's going to escalate this to land attacks. This unprecedented U.S. intervention in a foreign country and its domestic affairs, the president has referred to it as some form of threat to national security. Is there any chance that the narco-terrorists could declare some form of war on the American people abroad, American people in different parts of the world to which they have no security or expectation that they could too be the recipients of the vitriol of the drug cartels?
I would be surprised if they came out with a formal statement of war, just because it might bring too much attention to them. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were behind some terrorist attacks. I would think that might be the more likely way to make a statement instead of just coming out and saying they're at war with us. And I think there's another thing that no one's talked about, Jesse, is why are we blaming Venezuela for our drug problems?
Yeah, more specifically, the fentanyl problem, when the fentanyl problem is in Mexico.
Yeah.
And everyone says that illegal chemicals and the product used to make fentanyl come from illegal shipments of various products from China to Mexico, where I guess this fentanyl is made. But Venezuela is not a fentanyl producing country.
Well, they did the same thing with Canada. Our government accused Canada of fentanyl production, and they knew that was a lie as well. So unfortunately, they think if they repeat the same lie enough times, people believe it.
House Democrats at this hour are calling for Pete Hegseth's resignation. I'm wondering if you think that's the appropriate political response.
I do think it's the proper response to call for his resignation. I think that's their duty, frankly. I don't know that Trump is going to make him resign, though.
Do you think Republicans are going to join in a bipartisan call for Pete Hegseth to step down?
That's going to be the key. They're going to need at least, 4 or 5 of them to do it. And I know that there's 7 or 8 that have voiced their displeasure with what he did, whether or not, Susan Collins and Linda Murkowski, I think Jim Justice from West Virginia, whether they sign on to it, that's another thing. But there is a little bit of, I think people are reading the tea leaves and they can see that Trump's popularity keeps plummeting, and he's down to 36% now. So I think he's probably a little more vulnerable than he was a couple months ago.
There is a bravado and an air of gross incompetence that seems to follow Pete Hegseth. Was he the right choice for the Senate to confirm him in the first place?
No, he wasn't. His lack of experience leading any group of people other than the people at Fox News. No, he's a made-for-TV personality. That's where Trump got a lot of his cabinet from. There's 6 or 7 people from Fox News that now serve in his cabinet. So he's a reality television president that's commented more than one time. He hires people from Central Casting, and you look at the 2 attorneys, the totally unqualified attorneys, and he hired them straight from Central Casting.
In Virginia, for sure, in the way in which the cases against Letitia James as well as James Comey were treated.
And Hannigan was a total joke, but Trump thought she was attractive, and that was good enough for him.
Yeah, it doesn't get much more soft-minded. Than that. John, let me ask you one question before we come forward, and we have just about 1 minute before we do. Is this the kind of scandal that could lead to further investigations into the Trump administration and the decision-making processes?
Yeah, I do think there's potential there for this to snowball into greater things. Again, because I think his popularity is waning, as well as his mental acuity. He seems to be slowing down a lot, and the press is finally talking about it. So I could definitely see where this might lead to more investigations.
I have some fundamentally different positions in all of my thinking, and including my life's work, that run contrary to almost everything that Donald Trump stands for. And clearly his attitude towards people of color is a significant part of that. But what is clear, it's going to be some of these issues on the periphery. It's going to be the grifting. It's going to be the Pete Hegseths. It's going to be how the treating people on the streets of Chicago and Los Angeles, and how people are being treated by the National Guard around the country, that I think is going to draw the ire of the American people. Outside of anything philosophical,
right.
This is an unprecedented behavior that unfortunately, at this hour is without constitutional balance. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. This is the J Lunch Club. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. Michael Eric Dyson will be joining us, and Barbara Arnwine.
The biggest names, the best conversations. You're riding with Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is meeting with Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani as he prepares to hand over the job in January.
We want to show the incoming mayor what we've done, how we brought down crime, how we built more housing.
The two were openly critical of each other during the campaign. Jury selection has begun in the trial of Black Atlantic City, New Jersey Mayor Marty Small, who's accused of abusing his teenage daughter. Small and his wife, LaQuetta Small, face child endangerment charges, though she'll be tried separately. The mayor, recently reelected, also faces counts of witness tampering, terroristic threats, and aggravated assault. And Michael Jordan is suing NASCAR in federal court, accusing the organization of operating as a monopoly. Jordan, co-owner of 2311 Racing with Denny Hamlin, is one of two teams that refused to sign NASCAR's new revenue deal, saying it limits how teams can earn money. NASCAR denies any anti-competitive behavior. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a rough night for both of LA's NBA teams. The Phoenix Suns snapped the Lakers' 7-game winning streak with a dominant 125-108 victory at Crypto.com. First loss for the Lakers since November 12th at OKC. Dylan the Villain Brooks led Phoenix with 33 points and a lot of trash talking for LeBron and Lakers fans. LeBron finished with only 10 points in 31 minutes. The Clippers lost at Miami 140-123, fifth straight loss for the Clippers, who are now 5-16. Former Clippers guard Norman Powell led Miami with 30 points. The Clippers trading Powell after last season makes no sense at all. They really could use him now. Powell is leading Miami in scoring with 25 a game. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has surgery Monday on his fractured left hand. The 8-4 Chargers are unsure if Herbert will be available for Monday night's game against Philadelphia at SoFi. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Established in 2020 during a time of deep racial unrest across our state and country, the Black Freedom Fund was created to make sure that leaders and organizations working to support Black communities and build power have the resources they need to stay in the fight for the long haul. We believe that those closest to the issues impacting our communities know best how to solve them. That's why in just the last 5 years, we've granted more than $45 million to over 200 grassroots organizations across California. That is the largest collective investment in Black organizing in history, and we're just getting started. We are clear-eyed and committed, more now than ever, to our people, our power, and our possibility. Join us in creating a future where Black people harness their full power to shape their lives and realize a just world for all. Learn more at fundblackfreedom.org. That's fundblackfreedom.org. The Black Freedom Fund is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest in this hour is our regular contributor every other Tuesday, John Missiotis. We are now blessed and fortunate to have Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, distinguished professor, gifted writer, prominent media personality. He's taught at some of the nation's most prestigious universities, including Princeton, Brown, and Georgetown, and is currently distinguished university professor at Vanderbilt University. Dr. Dyson has authored over 25 books, including 7 New York Times bestsellers. He has won numerous awards for his literary achievements, including the 2020 Langston Hughes Medal, the American Book Award, and 2 NAACP Image Awards. In addition to his academic writing and pursuits, Dr. Dyson is also a leading public intellectual known for his thought-provoking insights on race, social justice, and contemporary culture. His books on figures such as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Barack Obama have garnered widespread acclaim and sparked important conversations about race in America. And in addition to this extraordinary biography, it only leaves out one thing, and that is he was my seminary professor when I was a student at Chicago Theological Seminary. Dr. Dyson, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
How can we leave out the most important part, bro? How can we leave out the most important part?
No, Dr. Dyson sends me, when he sends me his bio in the future, I'm sure he'll add that sentence. But when he sends it to the rest of the world, Dr. Dyson, I want you to meet John Lesiotis, a close and dear friend of ours and a regular contributor on our program as well.
Beautiful. Good to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Professor Dyson, I know
reading your stuff for many, many years.
Thank you, sir.
I know that you're just getting off of a flight, and I really appreciate you making time in these
Right.
final 2 segments of our show with us. Dr. Dyson, let me ask you a question. We've been analyzing in the last half an hour or so the the war criminal activity of Pete Hegseth and the president of the United States in Venezuela. And I don't separate this, and I'm pretty sure you don't either, from the resignation of Admiral Halsey, the African American who refused to carry out these orders and was replaced by a kind of Trumpethant, if you will. But these attacks overall, as you well know from the rich histories that you've studied over time, that the U.S. military was largely built around the idea of the Cold War and some conflict in most of my life that was going to take place between the United States, the Russians. But this massive military force is now being directed towards some of the poorest people on Earth and in some of the poorest regions on Earth. Dr. Dyson, please offer for us some context from your eminent thinking and thoughts at this hour in the development of our empire.
Well, as usual, you've brilliantly set that up. We know the unconscionable exercise of illegitimate authority is characteristic of a fascist, a crypto-fascist, an autocrat, a dictatorial demagogic figure who seeks to use the American military as his footstool. The attempt and effort to punish those who have not proved to be, first of all, engaging in the activity he says. And if we wipe them out, according to Pete Hegseth, even though he's throwing the admiral under the bus, so to speak, at least under the submarine, here he is now trying to, not assume, as a great leader does, you know what, I'm the coach. They didn't perform well. It starts with me. That's not what he does, because he's not significantly intelligent enough to understand that, or conscientious enough. And then we have a president who is outside of the arc of legality, doing so much damage to this nation's reputation. And he's doing it in such a fashion that we don't know where to start. That's deliberate. Do we start over here what he's doing with the banks? Do we start over here what he's doing with SNAP? Do we do over here what he's doing with DEI? And now what he's doing in foreign waters? And then, of course, the racist and imperialist attempt to punish, not by bringing them to justice, but by deliberately killing them. This is an act of terror, and it is an act that is against global or at least international law. But he is not subject to any of that. There's nobody conscientious enough or strong enough in his own administration to call him to task. And the Congress that rubber stamps what he does with Mike Johnson is a vicious, feckless, spineless kind of deference. They pay deference to this man who is out of bounds. So there are not enough adjectives to pile up to talk about how horrible this attack is, how illegitimate it is, how without authority he's behaving, and no one seems to be able to rein him in from his 150 Truth Social, post that he did in 5 hours last night. How you the president, bro? How you got time to do that? I can't even get off the plane to call my man and to talk on radio. And here you are, send out 150 tweets. You ain't doing your job. You're playing golf and you're outsourcing the presidency.
Oh yeah,
Dr. Dyson, thank you. And I think John Lesiotis and I share your thinking on this. Doc, and before I bring John probably into the conversation in our next segment, I'm wondering, Dr. Dyson, because of your understanding of domestic affairs, many people don't appreciate that you also have a global perspective from the outside in. You travel the world. You're just getting back or on your way to the Middle East, and you've been to Africa and South America and all of these places. Can you tell me from the outside in, I know how we feel about him in here, but from the outside in, how is the world looking at us right now, Dr. Dyson?
Like a joke, as the French would say, un grand blague. Like, come on, man. They're having Dave Chappelle on tour. This is Richard Pryor hour. And the people, we could even get the Cosby in. But anyway, and the people looking at us like we're fools. Okay, it's astonishing, bro. Yeah. I mean, they are. Look, I was literally in France earlier this year, and they were like, "What is going on? What is happening? How did you let this in? Why aren't you fighting back?" I mean, they don't even have a sense of the internal dimensions of drama that have been unleashed on the American citizenry. But they do not see us with respect. They look at Donald Trump as a clown. They understand that this has got to be some machination of some untoward, comedian who is playing havoc with American society. But unfortunately and tragically, it ain't no joke. And we are the laughing stock of the world right now.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. John, when we come forward, I know that you have some inquiry of Dr. Dyson, and I certainly want to give you the opportunity to do that. And I know that we're coming up on the top of the hour after that. So I do want to leave the last 3 minutes of the program for Dr. Dyson's word of hope to our nation. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. This is our second season, and we are particularly grateful for KBLA. And I can't tell you how excited I am, not only to be with my good friend John Lesiotis, but to be reunited with my college professor. Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is our very special guest on his way to the Middle East to handle the business of the people. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number and put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Yeah. The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's cal-cruise-news.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Particularly honored in the remainder of this hour to have Dr. Michael Eric Dyson as a very special guest. And welcome John Lesiotis, our regular contributor, back to the program. John, do you have a question of Dr. Dyson?
Yes, I do, Dr. Dyson. You going back to the Middle East, I heard you say, and am I missing something over there? Because it doesn't look like the Palestinians are being included in any of the negotiations going on. It looks like to me it's with Jared Kushner and Netanyahu's people and Steve Witkoff, and I don't see that the Palestinians have any representation at the table. Is there something I'm missing?
Yeah, not at all. What you're missing is the presence of a viable alternative and a stakeholder that is critical and crucial to talking about the future of that particular geography. And in America, we already know that the Palestinians are all but precluded any viable participation at the table to make a discussion about the distribution of resources. We can't even get, aid over to Palestinian brothers and sisters because of the vicious assault of Netanyahu and his government. And so when we have these conversations about negotiations and we don't see the presence of those people, we know this is par for the course. Unfortunately and tragically, in an apartheid-like state where those who have some of the greatest stakes at if you will, that are vulnerable and that are at risk are the ones who are not invited into the table. So no, you're not missing it. What's missing is justice. What's missing is the righteous participation of those who have lost over 60,000 lives in the time since that undeniably evil October 7th assault. But the genocide that has been its consequence is not justifiable and has to be addressed.
Dr. Dyson, this raises the question for me of Donald Trump's recommendation that Netanyahu be pardoned. And now in the last week, I believe Netanyahu has made a formal request of consideration for his pardon as well. Your thought on that?
Yeah, pardon me if I don't get very impressed with that. Look, he pardoned a Honduran. He pardoned a Honduran dude. You say you're against drugs, but the man who was filtering them, you're cool with that. It's an abuse of the pardon. But I will say this. I will say this in regard to Donald Trump. If he ain't done nothing, he has shown feckless, spineless Democrats what you can do with the power of the office. I don't mean the unconscionable, the untenable, the illegal, and immoral, but there's a lot of space between what he's doing and what we failed to do by exercising and using that lever to really bring justice to those who have been unjustly assaulted. Netanyahu ain't one of them, but we've got a lot of room to operate within as Democrats and those on the other side of the aisle.
I bring to our listeners' attention all the time that 70 million men in America and women have paid their debt to society in full. 70 million.
Wow.
Yep. They've done what the judge said do. They did what the jury said do.
Right.
They followed their process. They tried to rebuild their lives. Hunter Biden did not spend a day in jail. The Biden family, we have no idea what they did, but they were all fully pardoned for something that we will never know what they did, but they did something. They could have survived, just like James Comey. They could have survived a process if there was nothing to be found. And then these 1,500 plus Giuliani and everybody else that he's pardoning is a corrupt use of what was, at the inception of the nation, a beautiful thing. Mr. Lesiotis, you might have another question, and then I'm going to leave some room for Dr. Dyson and his word of hope.
Yeah, I would. We had talked about it earlier, Jesse. Dr. Dyson, do you think that this killing down in Venezuela is going to cause Trump to fire anyone in the administration, or do you think he's going to hold steadfast?
Yeah, well, look, Trump is a weather vane. Let me put my finger in the air to see which way the wind is blowing. Now, what you got to say about him, which is why I pray for his health every day, because I do not want to see the guy behind him get into office. Why? Because that's a true believer. Now, he's still manipulative in a certain way. I knew J.D. Vance, talked to him on the phone every now and again, texted back and forth with him when he had reason at his disposal, when he was able to be rational about differences, when he had a trans friend and he was able to embrace all others and not wish that his wife would become a Christian.
Peter Thiel, in other words.
What's that?
Before Peter Thiel, in other words.
Yeah, well, definitely that would be the precise and concise way of saying it. And so my point is, though, that when we look at what's going on here in regard to, the conscience of America and those who are behind Donald Trump ain't no true believer. If Donald Trump could win more votes by invoking Karl Marx, he would be talking about Das Kapital every day. That's what he would be doing, because he ain't no true believer. So he's swinging whichever way. To answer your question, I don't know. If it's to his advantage to look like he's a loyal partisan for his particular purpose, he will stand behind him. If he needs to get rid of that person, he is gone quicker than right now and sooner than at once.
As we prepared to at least close out this segment of the show, I got to say that Dr. Michael Dyson is one of the most prolific thinkers and preachers in the nation, and maybe that our culture has ever produced. I do want to ask you for your word of hope, but I also, Dr. Dyson, want to ask you for just a moment if you can share with us a thought or two about the legacy of Jesse Jackson.
The Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, in my mind. Number 1, Martin Luther King Jr. Number 2, Frederick Douglass. Number 3, Jesse Jackson. That's how I'm talking about of all time. I'm not talking about in his era. I'm not speaking of in his century. I'm speaking of the beginning of this nation and the pilgrimage we have made toward democracy. Jesse Louis Jackson has been one of the most phenomenal, gifted writers, thinkers, public intellectuals, debating William F. Buckley Jr. and David Duke. I was with him, riding with him to the airport once. He was going to Harvard. I said, well, Doc, who are you debating? He said, it really doesn't matter. That's how cold he is. That's how cold he is. Like, I'm going to Harvard, dude. It don't make no difference, right? That's what a great mind. And you will not find a leader, black or white or other, Latino or other, who had more forensic ability to unmask the facts, to parade before us the empirical proof of a particular idea that he was wrestling with. A phenomenal, incredible, amazing leader. And it has been our benefit as this nation to see him, to see his rise from the time he was 26, like Martin Luther King Jr. was, when he emerged in Montgomery. Jesse Louis Jackson emerged at age 26. And since that time, has carried the weight of the race on his back, on his tongue, and with Nike, with sports, with Ford, with cars, with CBS, with television, with the ability to talk about capital and democratizing it. I mean, the range of his genius is astonishing, and one of the greatest human beings that we've ever produced in this nation, and one of the greatest leaders that this world has ever seen.
I'm going to have to use that as the word of hope. And with only about a minute left, Dr. Dyson, you did have an opportunity on behalf of our family to pray with Dad recently, and you spent some very quiet and some very private time with him. We have about 45 seconds. How did that feel? What was that like?
It was astonishing because he said, as you remember, that he was very moved by my words. My Lord, a man that I have adored, admired, and looked up to. This man continues to embody. Even though his tongue has been stilled by disease, his brain is as sharp as ever, his soul as big as this world, and this world cannot contain the meaning and significance of this remarkable man. I love him like my brother and father. I love him as I love you, my friend. You continue to carry that tradition in name and in deed.
Very grateful for our guests and contributors today, Mr. John Lesiotis and Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. I'm hoping that Michael is going to hang with us at least for one more segment. I know he's in an airport. It won't be a long segment because Dr. Barbara Arnwine will also be joining us when we come forward. Very grateful for your participation today, John Lesiotis. Look forward to our time next week. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward on KBLA.
God bless you, bro.
1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is meeting with Mayor-elect Saran Mamdani as he prepares to hand over the job in January.
We want to show the incoming mayor what we've done, how we brought down crime, how we built more housing.
The two were openly critical of each other during the campaign. Jury selection has begun in the trial of Black Atlantic City, New Jersey Mayor Marty Small, who's accused of abusing his teenage daughter. Small and his wife, LaQuetta Small, face child endangerment charges, though she'll be tried separately. The mayor, recently reelected, also faces counts of witness tampering, terroristic threats, and aggravated assault. And Michael Jordan is suing NASCAR in federal court, accusing the organization of operating as a monopoly. Jordan, co-owner of 2311 Racing with Denny Hamlin, is one of two teams that refused to sign NASCAR's new revenue deal, saying it limits how teams can earn money. NASCAR denies any anti-competitive behavior. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
HBCU Southern University is taking a gamble on Marshall Faulk, the school's new head football coach. Faulk, introduced on Monday to the local media, has never been a head coach on any level. The Pro Football Hall of Fame running back completed his first season last week as running backs coach for Deion Sanders at Colorado. Faulk grew up in New Orleans, which is only 80 miles south of the Southern campus in Baton Rouge. The Southern administration is hoping Faulk's name appeal will help turn around the program. Southern was 2-10 this season, 1-7 in the SWAC. HBCU Hampton University is looking for a new head football coach after firing Trent Boykin. Hampton was 0-8 in the MEAC this season. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's top 25 rankings: UConn, Texas, South Carolina, 8-1 UCLA, and LSU. 5-2 USC is 16th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. This is season 2 of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and in this particular hour, and certainly in the first segment, we are particularly grateful to have Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, who is in the airport on his way to the Middle East, but he decided to stop by the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show and celebrate in part with us, but also to impart some wisdom. Dr. Dyson, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show once again.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be
here. Our regular contributor, Barbara Arnwine Esquire, president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition, and is internationally renowned for her contributions on critical justice issues, including the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act. Currently, she serves as co-chair and facilitator of the National Commission for Voter Justice, Millennial Vote Matters convenings, the Voters' Rights Alliance. She was the head of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law from February 1989 until June of 2015, and holds the honorific title of President Emeritus. Born in Southern California, Arnwine is a graduate of Scripps College and Duke University School of Law. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Barbara Arnwine, ladies and gentlemen.
Stop it. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for that introduction. What a time we are living in.
Dr. Arnwine, you know Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is joining us.
I know Michael Eric Dyson. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Is the sky blue, gray? Come on now.
Barbara, I don't know how long we have Dr. Dyson in this year hour of the program, but there might be a question or thought or two that you want to share and ask of Dr. Dyson while he's here.
You want me to answer the question?
Yeah, why not? It's your show.
Wow. A question that I think is so important right now. People exercise all the time. They exercise physically. They run up and down the street. They do gymnastics. They do all kinds of exercise. But one of the things that I think people underestimate is how much you got to do political exercise, and that you got to work the same muscles, the same reflexes, the same routines to understand how you are powerful in this moment. What would be some of your recommendations for how people can exercise that political consciousness, that political muscle in this time to have the impact that makes them sleep at night?
Lord have mercy. Reverend Dr. Barbara Arnwine. I'll say before, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr., my beautiful and wonderful student, I'm about to go teach my class here literally online, but I got to say this before I leave.
Yes.
One of the things we can do is exercise the right to vote, which I did today in Tennessee before I left Tennessee this morning for Afton Bain.
Yes.
Because the right wing is trying to take over. So we've got to take that short walk to the poll, to the booth, in order to exercise our right as citizens in this nation to tell the truth about it. Then we got to pump each other up to make sure that we give each other the right kind of support and the right kind of love and the right kind of recognition. Then we've got to also, I think, do our calisthenics when we're out here trying to look at what our political options are. Because look, my pastor, Dr. Frederick George Sampson, used to say, we've already come through what we've come to. That means that this particular hour will not exhaust the possibility that is before us. So we've got to continue to go back and forth, look back and forth, and recognize that our parents faced far worse, our ancestors faced far worse than we're facing now. We are not being drug out into the night. We know ICE is doing this, right? ICE baby. We know that they're doing some horrible and evil things. But I'll tell you what, the fact that we can say that it's fascist, the fact that we can say that it's racist, the fact that we can say that it is demagogic, at least measures the degree of freedom we have that doesn't exist in other societies and didn't exist earlier. When we would have said that, and we would have been lynched on the spot. And then finally, what we got to do is to continue to count our calories and count our blessings that are out here, that we have Jesse Jackson Jr. I just want to know, when he becomes a congressman again, is he still going to have the show? But that's another question. So the thing is that we got to count our blessings of a Jesse Jackson Jr. and a Barbara Arnwine. We have to acknowledge that these things must not be taken for granted, that we must also acknowledge and recognize that people make contributions, they make sacrifices. They don't do it because they got to. They don't do it because they have to. They do it because they make a choice to serve the people. And you two are some of the most remarkable public servants that we have ever seen in our nation and among our people. And so I'm grateful to be part of this group before I leave to go teach my class and keep my job. I
do know that you have to go, Doc, and I know that we have about 1 minute left in our segment. Yeah. You got some hope coming out of Tennessee with Brother Pearson.
Oh, man, Justin Pearson, look, he's going to be a congressman. He's going to join you in Congress, right? The other Justin Jones, graduated from Vanderbilt, the school where I teach. So, yeah, we got hope coming out of there. Look, Howard Thurman said, never reduce your dreams to the event, which is your immediate experience. Whatever you're facing, divorce, kids ain't acting right, people don't talk to you the way they should. Never reduce your dreams to what you see before you. He said you got a choice. You can be a prisoner of the event, or you can be a prisoner of hope. I choose to be a prisoner of hope, along with Howard Thurman.
It doesn't get any better than Michael Eric Dyson and Dr. Barbara Arnwine and Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Thank you, Dr. Dyson, for spending this time with us. Give your students our very best, and we look forward to them coming on at some point in time and sharing us the richness that they've learned from Michael Eric Dyson. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 remembers Robin Ayers on the 1-year anniversary of her passing. 1 year ago this week, we lost a remarkable and vibrant voice. Robin Ayers touched countless lives through her passion, her love, her service, and her smile, which you could see through the radio. KBLA Talk 1580 honors her memory and celebrates the legacy she left behind. Robin, your spirit lives on in every conversation, in every connection, and in every one of us, inspired by your voice. Gone, but never forgotten. KBLA Talk 1580, where voices matter.
I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns. I'm missing you. Tell me why the road turns.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the
You're wrong. You're so wrong.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Barbara Arnwine, ladies and gentlemen. Barbara, take us around the world and around the country for sure, but around the world if you need to. What's going on and what should we be focused on?
So much. Okay. So much. So much. Everybody, do you know what week this is? Are you aware what week this is? Because when we were talking about exercising that political muscle,
Montgomery,
you got it.
Rosa Parks.
You got it. 70th anniversary. 70 anniversary, people.
Boycott.
The Montgomery bus boycott. I want everyone listening, think about it. You know, I want you to go and study it some, because in our past struggles is so much future direction. And we make the mistake of thinking past is past, but past is never past. Oftentimes it is, as Faulkner said, prologue. And so we need to really think, folks, about that particular 70th anniversary. They'll be celebrating it all week long. Yesterday was the 70th anniversary of Rosa Parks saying, no, I'm not going to move my seat. And it led to her arrest. It took, most people think that, oh, then automatically everybody started boycotting. No, they didn't. It took a couple of more days for people to organize themselves and to declare a boycott. Now, they did it fast. 3 days is not bad. By the time they met on December 4th, they were resolved. And on December 5th, they launched the boycott. It was, people don't think about what that meant.
Barbara, can I ask you a question about that in real time?
Yes.
It seems that generation of African Americans and their consciousness they had an insult level.
I
mean,
a
3
personal
days,
dignity.
yeah, some personal dignity. I mean, 3 days later, they're in a full-fledged boycott,
You
and
got
there's
it.
a unity of thought and spirit on that question. What's it going to take for us to develop an insult level?
We do have, if you notice, one thing I've been trying to get people to think about is the difference between grievance and indignity. Because some people, if I were a preacher, my whole sermon this month would be on you need to lay down your grievance sword and pick up your sword of righteousness.
Go ahead now.
Because really, because
Our producer's gonna match us up with a scripture for you in just a minute.
because a lot of people,
We got an organ player out there, by the way. Remy Martin probably listening. So lay down your grievance sword,
right?
And pick up your sword of righteousness.
Yes, and what I see happening all the time on the internet and in real life are people with grievances. They mad at other people. They mad at their life circumstances. They got grievances. We got heck, the man sitting in the White House is grievance in chief. That's all he does is tell people about their grievances and pour salts in their wounds and make them angry and agitated and distracted and not paying attention to what's really going on because they think they're hurting somebody else because they got grievances against other people. And what I keep trying to explain to people is that when you're in a grievance sword and that's all you're wielding, you're not seeing and thinking well. You're just, you want revenge. You're just angry. You're just, lost within yourself. Sometimes you can't even, you wake up screaming at night. Come on, folks. The reality is that as long as you got a grievance sword and that's all you're doing is carry that little heavy thing around, then you never have a time to lift up your sword of righteousness. You don't envision a future that's better. You only think about you, my. You don't think broadly beyond yourself and your circumstances.
Barbara, let me ask you.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question because when I served in Congress, I didn't just see Democrats and Republicans. Maybe my mind is challenged. I've been accused of that, but I looked across the broad diversity that was Congress and saw the diversity of the interests that are represented by the American people.
Yes.
No matter how right-wing this guy is, there's 700,000 people or half of that geographic space in this country that voted for him and sent him there to be Mr. Mean, Mr. Nasty, Miss Mean, Miss Nasty, Mr. Liberal, Mr. Conservative. I saw I couldn't travel to every congressional district, but I saw their representatives, the people that they sent to Washington. And it's easy to focus on the personalities, but then when they go back home, they get reelected and sent back to Washington by the same people over and over and over again.
Yes.
They represent these people.
Right.
Beyond the personalities that is Congress, the representative themselves is reflective of the people that they represent. So I saw beauty in that. And I looked for commonality where we could agree with things, agree to agree and agree to disagree. We didn't agree on everything, but we found space to work together, right? In this grievance culture of those who their grievance sword that you've talked about, we almost can't see anything redeemable in each other. Talk to me about that sword of righteousness for a moment, Barbara.
Yeah, see the grievance sword, all you want to do is wound somebody because you feel wounded. And you don't have, the capacity for empathy, to understand, to really sit down and analyze what's happening, because you're too mad, you're too upset, you're too sad, you're too angry, you're grieving, you're just going through it. And to transcend that trap of a self envelopment, you have to somehow look beyond yourself. And the righteous sword, when you pick up a sword of righteousness and say, wait a minute, I'm not just standing here for myself, I'm standing here for everybody else. That's what Rosa Parks did, everybody. Come on. Come on. Let's think about it. Rosa Parks had been on that bus up and down so many times. Rosa Parks, amazing woman. People just don't know her story. I mean, when Reese Taylor, the Black woman, was raped by those white men, and everybody tried to sweep it under the cover, sweep it under the grass, don't talk about this no more, because somebody gonna get killed talking about white men raping a Black woman. Rosa Parks left her home and went and lived with Reese Taylor to stand by her and to support her, to give her some kind of comfort. Rosa Parks, folks, that's where she starts her activism. Most people don't know that Rosa Parks not only did that, and of course, sadly, Reese Taylor didn't get the justice she deserved. But don't forget her name, Reese Taylor, Black woman, raped, denied justice, people telling her she better keep her mouth shut about it, people threatening her family, people being maimed for trying to stand up for her. And in that crisis walks Rosa Parks to be her comfort, to be her sword of righteousness. The other story people don't know about Rosa Parks, that I'd love to tell, and most people don't know this story, is that Rosa Parks decided that she was going to be a registered voter. Alabama, so racist, so vicious, so evil and vile, has decided that they're going to put all these obstacles in front of Black voters, so that at the time of 1965, when the Voting Rights Act is eventually passed, they have less than 5% of Black folks registered. And so she, on her own volition, says, I'm going to get registered. She studies the Constitution, because that's what they made people do. You had to recite every element of the Constitution, every comma, every period. You had to recite it, the preamble, that is. You had to recite it in total with not one mistake. Not one mistake was allowed. She went for her first test and she recited it perfectly. Perfectly. We the people. She recited it perfectly. And when she finished, they said, because they couldn't get their own pronunciation, they couldn't get their own anything, on grammar, nothing. So what they did was they told her, oh, we're sorry. The person who signs the forms isn't here. You're going to have to come back tomorrow and do it again. She came back the next day and did it again.
You know what I find fascinating, Barbara, in this moment, now that I hear that from you, I'm putting some of the psychology of Rosa Parks together.
Yes.
Here she is a seamstress.
Yes.
Here she is concerned about rape.
Here
she is a married woman. Here she is concerned about Raymond Parks. Here she is concerned about the rape of a Black woman.
Yes.
Here she is concerned about political empowerment, voter registration.
Yes.
And then when asked the question, what was on your mind when you were told to get up? She responded, Emmett Till.
Yes. Because she goes to Highlander, right? She goes to Highlander and folks, Rosa Parks didn't just get tired one day. Rosa Parks actually went to Highlander and studied activism, because that's where people who wanted to be great activists went. You went to Highlander Institute, and they trained you to be in nonviolence. They trained you to be, dedicated to your cause, to understand what you might have to sacrifice in order to get to what you wanted. So people don't understand that about it. They don't know Reese Taylor. They don't know the Highlander story. They don't understand that the voting story. It took her 5 days, if I'm correct.
Again, in building her psychology,
yes,
she ends up with the relationship with Martin Luther King Jr. She's a church-going woman. She obviously is on the Democratic Convention stage with Reverend Jesse Jackson, I believe in San Francisco in 1984. She supported the movement. I mean, this isn't just any woman who's if you will, a one activist pony.
No.
She's got a lot of things that are informing her consciousness.
Yes.
And so, we got some one trick ponies out here in activism now. They got one little song they singing, one little hit. But the consciousness informs police brutality, white supremacy, Venezuela, Trump's threats on Nigeria, what's going on in the Gaza. The consciousness is some of everything that informs who we are. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. We're on the grind with Barbara Arnwine. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. The man accused of killing one National Guard member and wounding another in a D.C. shooting has now been formally charged with murder.
The crime is one that we believe we will be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
The shooter appeared virtually from his hospital bed where he's recovering from gunshot wounds. He has pleaded not guilty. Chicago faith leaders are pushing back against steep Cook County property tax hikes, saying they unfairly hit Black homeowners on the south and west sides. Pastor Marshall Hatch called the system unjust, while Reverend Sean Thompson is demanding a freeze and answers. And University of Virginia and Virginia Military Institute leaders are defending their recent decisions before state senators. UVA's interim president said their Department of Justice deal avoids legal trouble, while VMI's superintendent said he's focused on daily operations after the removal of the school's first Black leader, Cedric Lenz. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
HBCU Southern University is taking a gamble on Marshall Faulk, the school's new head football coach. Faulk, introduced on Monday to the local media, has never been a head coach on any level. The Pro Football Hall of Fame running back completed his first season last week as running backs coach for Deion Sanders at Colorado. Faulk grew up in New Orleans, which is only 80 miles south of the Southern campus in Baton Rouge. The Southern administration is hoping Faulk's name appeal will help turn around the program. Southern was 2-10 this season, 1-7 in the SWAC. HBCU Hampton University is looking for a new head football coach after firing Trent Boykin. Hampton was 0-8 in the MEAC this season. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's top 25 rankings: UConn, Texas, South Carolina, 8-1 UCLA and LSU. 5-2 USC is 16th. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
If you're an adult in need of an accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You can earn one for free in as few as 5 months online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
In California, all workers have rights, no matter their immigration status. If you or a family member were detained by federal immigration authorities and did not receive your final paycheck, contact the Labor Commissioner's office. You can file a claim even if you left California or the U.S. Call 833-526-4636 from the U.S. or outside the country 001-833-526-4636. Document wage theft and report it to the Labor Commissioner's office.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
An official message from Medicare. Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money. Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the need. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. It's Tenacious Tuesdays, and we are on the grind with Barbara Arnwine. Barbara, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thanks for having me.
Barbara, you know, we were talking about the influences and the consciousness of Rosa Parks and all of the things and events in her space beyond just being a seamstress that influenced her consciousness, her Christology, the death of Emmett Till, Reese Taylor, Martin Luther King Jr., Coretta Scott King. All of these people are ebbing and flowing in her space, and they help inform her sense of justice.
Yes.
I don't know quite frankly, many people in our generation who have a consciousness that is not really a one-trick pony. They got one issue. Something happened today, and they sink their teeth in it, and that's what they're known for. But then there's Barbara Arnwine with this consciousness. Barbara, so I see you very much in the tradition of Rosa Parks. Barbara, how can we support your work before we pivot to the next subject matter?
Yes, today is Giving Tuesday. Everyone, please give to the Transformative Justice Coalition. Please support our voting rights, our youth development work that we do. We are seriously out here, and in 2026, we're ready to be a major difference. And the beauty of the work that we do is that we get you involved with us. And so it's an opportunity for not only for us to serve people, but for you to join us in doing that service. So please go to tjcoalition.org, tjcoalition.org, and give to the Transformative Justice Coalition. Give us the capacity to be strong, because I'm not just out here talking. I go in these streets and do this work. As you've seen, if you've been following this show. So this isn't somebody that's just hanging around, making a lot of noise, pontificating. I do the work. TJC does the work. Support us. tjcoalition.org.
You can sleep better at night knowing that Barbara's out here doing the work, and we ought to support her. You got to be the wind beneath her wings in this transformative justice coalition. Part of it is transformative. It's always pursuing justice. And Barbara knows full well we cannot do it alone. We have to do it in coalition. We will come back to Rosa Parks as we explore. Gina has a young lady who went to Hampton Institute who interviewed Rosa Parks.
Yes.
Guest on our program, and hopefully we'll bring her on one Tenacious Tuesday and allow both of you to interact. Barbara, can we pivot to maybe another issue that you think we should be focusing on?
Yes. What did I say last week? What did I tell you last week? I mean,
Barbara, you said a lot last
2
week.
weeks ago. What did I tell you 2 weeks ago?
Not 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I told you they're running around playing toy soldiers and blowing up boats in the Caribbean was going to get them in trouble because they can't be judge, jury, and executioner. And that at some point, somebody was going to wake up and realize this was insane, what the U.S. was doing and is doing with Venezuela, with all of this, quote, they hate the narco folks. Well, listen, come on now. What has blown up in their face? It turns out that not only were they playing their little games of blowing up ships and killing people, they've killed 80 people, folks. 80 people. They haven't shown us one bit, not one little ounce of cocaine or any other drug that they quote confiscated. Nothing, because they blew everybody up. And now it turns out that contrary to every single convention and accord of war, that they ordered that survivors be killed.
Wow.
And it got out. It got out because they're stupid. And they run around bragging about their cruelty. And I warned you that they were going to get into trouble during this mess, and you moved on to another subject. And I told you they were messing up. And now not only
okay, you got me.
I'm just being wild, huh? You starting to do that countdown on me again. but I was showing you the truth. That these idiots, I mean, when you see the excesses, I mean, when they're running around with their little grievance swords and their little, trying to be, all tough, the ultimate masculine people, we kill folks, all that.
Isn't Pete Hegseth a joke? I want to go slap him upside his head so bad. Isn't he a joke? I mean, this guy's got more one-liners than a Schwarzenegger movie. I think he sits up all night long watching G.I. Joe movies.
But did you notice when it comes time to take the buck? I mean, the buck stops here. No.
Listen, buck passers, ain't they?
Right. You notice that? Ain't none of that. Oh, it was my order. Oh, no,
Barbara,
somebody else.
Barbara, let me ask you this question.
Come on now, cowards.
What are the consequences? You know, we lived through Reagan's gunboat diplomacy
Yes.
and his big stick diplomacy. We've never really seen a president swing that stick quite like this one is doing, particularly
He's
for
lost
brown
his
people
mind.
throughout the world. What are the
He's lost his
consequences? What are the consequences for how the United States is perceived around the world as a result of this behavior?
It's a disaster for us. I mean, it's really a disaster, and it's just so cruel. Remember, I told you. I mean, come again now. You know, folks think I'm just on this show talking trash, but I'm talking some serious reality and some trash. But in any event, you know, I mean, folks, what did I tell you? I told you these folks want to kill people. I told you that their genetics, their eugenics beliefs, that they think all these people living in this world are unnecessary, expendable, and ought to be dead. And they believe this stuff. I done told y'all. So now the new numbers are out on USAID. I told you that Elon Musk and his white supremacist nonsense, his evil, that it wasn't coincidental that people would die from USAID not being available. But now they're finding out that you got millions upon millions of people dying because they can't get access to the drugs they need, the medicine that they need. They can't get access to the treatment they need. They can't get access to food, water, all the things that keep people alive. I told you they intend to depopulate this planet, and they intend to do a lot of that in Africa. And so there are real humane consequences where I see Lawrence O'Donnell and others saying, oh, this is so tragic, this is horrible, how could this be happening? I'm like, because they want it to happen. This is not accidental. Folks, these are vicious, evil people in positions of power. And you got a president that is so cognitively off, and I say off, that he allows and has empowered these people to do this kind of evil.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. We're on the grind with Barbara Arnwine. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Unwrap LA this winter with Metro. Whether you're heading to a family gathering or last-minute shopping, Metro's got you. Enjoy free rides across Metro on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Move with joy. Move with community this holiday season. Go Metro.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Imagine being a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit tremfya.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you got to make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk
The Jesse
1580.
Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The
Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. And this is our final segment, Tenacious Tuesdays. On the J Lunch Club. Glad you guys are having lunch with us out west. Very special guest and regular contributor is our most tenacious contributor, Dr. Attorney Barbara Arnwine. Barbara Arnwine is the founder and president of the Transformative Justice Coalition. And she's just simply in the best traditions of Rosa Parks. Her consciousness has taken us on this show from Tennessee to New York to New Jersey to Virginia. We don't know where she's going next, but when we find Barbara, she is definitely on the grind. Chances are in the Congress of the United States itself, standing, arguing, fighting, protesting in front of the Supreme Court. She's going to be there. And that's why it's so important to support her work. Barbara, one more time, how do we support your work?
You can donate to us at tjcoalition.org. tjcoalition.org. You can go to our website and donate, and we are grateful for your support. You know, one thing you said that I wanted to talk about and explore some. You know, one of the beauties of the work that we do is working with young people. And I am so blown away by the brilliance of our young people. I think our greatest treasure is the most underappreciated treasure. And that's our young people, because most times when you see them on the news or something, it's for something bad. And so people just think our kids are out of quote control, and they don't see the brilliance of the young folks that are out there. I was reminded of it today because I was at a doctor's appointment with a friend, and in walked one of these amazing young Black doctors. And he really impressed me, but also I thought about the person that referred us to him, who was also a young, amazing Black doctor. I think that we don't understand the sacrifices they go through to be expert at what they do, but also at the same time, you know, I really love looking at these amazing young folks that have figured out how to lift up their justice sword, their righteousness sword, who, like Adrian Conasori, who is running for Attorney General, for Secretary of State, that is, for Secretary of State for Georgia right now. And why is he running? He's running because he almost had his vote denied. Where he tried to vote and they told him his vote couldn't be counted. And he had to get his mom and other people involved, and he fought it to make sure it was counted. But it made him think back about all the other people who didn't have advocates. And so he decided he's going to run for Secretary of State in Georgia. That's not an easy thing to do.
You know,
You know that.
I know something about it because one of the reasons I decided to run was to give voice to 70 million Americans who paid their debt to society, and they are not they're not Joe Biden's son or
You
Donald
got it.
Trump's friends or cronies. They need someone to advocate for them, and
You
so
got it.
you don't use the platform to advocate for somebody
Yes.
other than yourself. You're not using your platform correctly, and
You
so
got it.
you know, we get that motivation. Hey, you know what? Let me add this because I know we want to support the Transformative Justice Coalition.
Yes.
To do that, but I want to remind people also that you can support KBLA by subscribing to the Tavis Smiley shows. You can support them by subscribing to the Dominique DePrima shows and obviously to the Jesse Jackson Jr. show. But those of you who don't participate in the subscribing process, you ought to call KBLA, drop off a check, and just say thank you. Just say thank you for a free platform that allows us to share Barbara Arnwine every week. We can't pay to be on this radio station for the opportunity to reach a broad audience and to speak freely and to bring the guests on without censorship to the public, not just in Los Angeles, but all over the country, here in Chicago and New York and Atlanta, and people who are downloading this app all over the world. If you're in Los Angeles, you may not fully appreciate, just as when I was only in Chicago, I never fully appreciated how the app actually moves through airports and through cars.
Yes.
And people are
Yes.
able, by way of the new technology, to literally take a AM station and turn it into an FM sounding station all over the world. Put KBLA Talk 1580 under your Christmas tree this year. We're not shopping at Target. We're not going to buy our stuff at Amazon. That should leave a lot of us a lot of money in the season to drop off a $50 or $100 check over at KBLA to Tavis Smiley and just say thank you, brother. Just thank you for this opportunity. Anyway, Barb, I didn't want to cut you off. We've got about 5 minutes. Another quick question for you on the international community and their response, and then, of course, whatever word of hope you have, Barbara, their international response to the American interventionist behavior, which the president, of course, now is even talking about Lagos, Nigeria, and intervening in that conflict. It just smells like he wants oil in both places.
Right. And but he's crazy because you heard what the Nigerians said, right? Have you heard what their response is? What the people are saying on the ground? Because I have a lot of Nigerian friends. Guess what?
What they say? Come on. They say, come on.
They say, come on. Just come on. It's like you foolish enough to think you're gonna just walk in here and it's gonna be a little blood blast and then you're just gonna run stuff. You gotta be crazy. We are accustomed to dealing with colonialists. We know what a colonizer looks like. We know how to deal with their behinds. We done thrown them out before once, we'll throw them out again. Are you crazy? I mean, you want to get into a quagmire? Waste your time. He is so full of it. When it comes to talking about he cares about Christians, he made a deal with China. China. Yeah. Have you guys looked at China's role with Christians?
Yeah.
He's made deals
an atheist state.
Come on, y'all. I mean, folks, if you're not really looking at him, who is his best friends in the world? The Saudis, the Saudis from Saudi Arabia and the UAEs and all the rest of them. Do you know that in Saudi Arabia it's illegal to own a Bible? Huh? And I mean, come on, folks. Just stop it. I'm
gonna get a T-shirt made called "Come On, Folks." Come on, folks. Barbara, we need a "Come On, Folks" T-shirt. Barbara, we have about 3 minutes before your word of hope. Your thoughts about how we enter this season.
Well, I really hope that people. I want to say a word of thanks. I owe big thanks to. Thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people. Everybody who said, I ain't buying it. We ain't buying it. And you didn't buy a thing from Target, from Home Depot, from Amazon during this Thanksgiving weekend. You ain't buying it now. I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for standing up against ICE. All those people in LA who bought the ice picks and took them back, the ice scrapers. Come on, LA, you guys good. You guys are real good, real creative. I love, hearing the different holiday carols that were turned into freedom carols. I love everything that you've done. You are serious people. That's why we love some LA. Come on, Los Angeles, keep talking. The other thing I want folks to ask yourself, don't fall for the okie doke. This guy who was arrested in DC for killing the National Guard's person and shooting, everybody. Folks, ask yourself one question. Why did he was in Washington State, they said, right? What's next to Washington State? Oregon. What's in Oregon? National Guard. Where did he have to travel all the way across the nation? Where did he pass? All those National Guard places. What's going on? I think the most important thing to ask yourself in these days, before you start hating on everybody from Afghanistan, every time you hate everybody from a third world country, before you fall for that stuff, ask yourself what's really going on.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest on the grind with Barbara Arnwine. Barbara, until next week, I look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you so much.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payne.